Hello everyone, today I explain law-abiding citizen movies, so let's not delay, join us as we break down the latest films and give you the rundown on all the must-see movies. Subscribe now and never miss a beat in the world of movies. Clyde Shelton, a Philadelphia engineer, witnesses the rape and murder of his wife and 5-year-old daughter by two burglars who steal into his house. Clarence Darby and accomplice Rupert Ames, leaving him profoundly damaged. Career-minded prosecutor Nick Rice informs him that the case was tainted by a botched forensic investigation, and that Shelton's testimony cannot implicate either guy because he blacked out during the incident. Rice strikes a hidden agreement with Darby in order to maintain his 96% conviction rate. In exchange for pleading guilty to third-degree murder, he will offer testimony that will send Ames to death row. For what is effectively a robbery accusation, Shelton is left with a sense of betrayal. After 10 years, Ames is killed by lethal injection. He dies in agony as a result of a chemical malfunction. Darby is identified as the source of the initial evidence by a strange caller, who informs him of the whereabouts of a pistol he can use to his advantage. The caller informs him that if he wants to avoid the cops, he should come to him. Darby understands at the meeting spot that the caller and his salvation is none other than Shelton. Darby attempts to kill him with the pistol, only to learn that it is a sham gun that injects him with tetrodotoxin, paralyzing him, but leaving him fully aware. Shelton carefully tortures and dismembers Darby after restraining him and making arrangements to assure his prolonged awareness, saying the words Darby told him 10 years before, "You can't fight fate." Darby was later discovered in 25 pieces, and after an investigation, Rice and his colleagues accuse Shelton. A local SWAT team rushes into Shelton's house the next day to find him ready for them, and he does not resist arrest. Rice secretly congratulates him on eliminating Darby from society in an interrogation cell at the jail, then demands a confession. Shelton, who appears to be cooperative, offers a complete confession in exchange for a luxurious mattress in his cell, to which Rice grudgingly accepts. Shelton objects to a motion to deny himself bail at his hearing, citing arcane legal precedents. Judge Laura Birch, who also presided over Ames' trial, agrees, but Shelton goes on a rant about the court's propensity for legal jargon above justice. He is dismissed from office for contempt of court. Shelton bargains to give the location of Bill Reynolds, Darby's attorney, who was reported missing 3 days earlier, in exchange for an expensive steak dinner from Del Frisco's to be delivered at precisely 1 p.m., along with his iPod, after receiving his mattress and delivering the confession, in which he confesses not only to killing Darby, but also to altering the lethal injection chemical that made Amy's death agonizing. Warden Inger requires multiple measures, resulting in the food arriving 8 minutes late at Shelton's cell. Rice and Detective Dunnigan discover Reynolds buried alive and barely minutes dead, having suffocated due to Inger's delay, his oxygen tank having been timed to shut down at 1:15. Dunnigan adds that because Shelton got his lunch at 10:08, they were 7 minutes late instead of arriving in time to save Reynolds. Shelton and his cellmate, who had threatened to harm him if he didn't share, divide the steak supper. Shelton then murders him with the steak T-bone as a weapon. He is placed in solitary confinement. Rice's assistant, Sarah Lowell, discovers evidence of contract payments to Shelton from the Department of Defense, so the district attorney, Jonas Control, takes Rice to meet with CIA operative Bray, who worked with Shelton. They discover Shelton was a CIA brain, who worked in a black ops think tank on unusual techniques of executing targets. Bray warns them to think he can see and hear them at all times, and that he is always watching. He also cautions them that he is only in prison because he wants to be, and that everything he does has a greater reason. When Rice asks how they should deal with Shelton, Bray suggests they go inside his cell and shoot a bullet in his head, because they won't be able to stop him otherwise. "If Clyde wants you dead, you're dead," he says as he walks away. Rice and Control persuade Judge Birch to infringe on Shelton's civil rights and limit his visiting privileges. Judge Birch answers a cell phone that explodes, killing her instantaneously. Rice encounters Shelton at the prison, who claims that the killings are not motivated by vengeance, but by a failure of the justice system. He will kill everyone unless he is released with all charges dropped before 6:00 a.m. tomorrow. Staff members of the DA congregate till 6:00 a.m. They are sent home, but bombs put beneath their cars explode, killing everyone inside, including Sarah. Rice feels Shelton is utilizing an outside accomplice to help him because he is still jailed. At Sarah's burial, an unidentified figure dressed in black activates a remote-controlled drone armed with a rocket launcher and a .50 caliber machine gun. Control is killed while riding in an SUV with security detail. Rice is named acting district attorney by the mayor, who is upset with Rice for failing to safeguard everyone. Rice discovers information pointing to Shelton earning a small derelict garage near to the prison, while hunting for evidence that Shelton may have accomplices working for him. When Rice and Detective Dunnigan get at the garage, they discover a tunnel system leading to all of the solitary confinement cells, as well as a large supply of munitions. Shelton had apparently dug the tunnel system from his garage to the prison over the previous 10 years, and when it was finished, he purposefully had himself arrested and sent to solitary confinement in order to sneak out of the prison to carry out his killings undetected and all by himself, and then sneak back into his cell the very next day. Dunnigan discovers a little hole that goes to Shelton's cell, which is empty. Shelton, disguised as a janitor, plants a cell phone-activated napalm bomb in City Hall, intending to murder the mayor and anyone else there for her meeting. Reese, Dunnigan, and Detective Garza infiltrate the 5th floor, where they discover the device immediately beneath the 6th floor, where the mayor is holding a security briefing. Garza tries but fails to disable the device and warns them to leave it alone. The 3 guys then agree not to tell the mayor what is going on since Shelton will be watching and will detonate the device if any sign of discovery is detected. They then make a decision about what to do with the bomb. Shelton returns to his cell via the underground tunnel and finds Reist waiting for him. Shelton makes one final offer, but Reist says he no longer does deals with murderers, which Shelton appreciates. It's a decision you'll have to live with for the rest of your life. Rice tells Shelton if he detonates the bomb. With his wife and daughter long dead, and feeling that he has nothing to live for anymore, Shelton decides to detonate the napalm bomb anyway. But as Rice exits and locks the cell, he calmly says, "Like I said, it's a decision you'll have to live with for the rest of your life," which I think now it's about 25 seconds. He then starts fleeing the building. Simultaneously, Detective Dunnigan closes the hatch in the back of the cell to prevent Shelton from escaping. Shelton recognizes that the bomb was placed under his cot, but only smiles and gazes carefully at a bracelet his daughter had fashioned for him, which says DADDUI. The cell explodes, and the last image of Shelton alive is of him staring up almost satisfied. Rice is seen in the closing scene attending his own daughter's music recital, which he had earlier postponed owing to work. He joins the throng in applauding her after the performance. Thank you for watching Movie or Mystery, where we bring you the latest movie explan video. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more content and hit the notification bell to never miss a video. See you next time. Take care and stay curious.